Planning a fishing trip shouldn't feel like a full-time job. With fishingbooker.com, you can find and book the perfect fishing trip within minutes. Fishingbooker.com connects you with trusted fishing captains around the world. Booking is fast, easy, and secure, with access to verified customer reviews, loyalty rewards, and around-the-clock customer support. Everything you need to book with confidence is in one place. So head to fishingbooker.com and start planning your next fishing adventure today.
This episode is brought to you by Orgain. Orgain creatine monohydrate helps improve muscle size, strength, and power when combined with a regular exercise and weight training routine. It supports brain health, and it's certified with informed choice, so you can compete with confidence. Studies show that creatine may support brain health in vegetarians and aging individuals. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Welcome back to the Survival and Basic Badass Podcast with Kevin and Chuck. Today, we're going to talk about off-grid firefighting. Now, basically what I mean by that is, there's no fire department. You're either in the middle of nowhere or the end of the world has come, and when you call 911, there's actually no dial tone, so you hit the buttons. It
just out of luck.
Doesn't do anything, and so that's what I'm looking for. Because believe it or not, you're kind of exposed in the end of the world, because all of a sudden people start cooking
right
with fire. You're probably firing up that wood stove. I know when I go camping and did the Boy Scout thing, there's pretty much a fire going 24/7.
Right.
I don't know if you're maybe a member of the Prepping Badass group. Turns out there might be some adversaries out there that would like Molotov cocktails.
Yeah, no,
like
I did hear something about napalm. And who knows what's going to happen.
So I'm just saying, things might catch on fire. You might have the drummer from Spinal Tap might be coming over for tea. You're having tea and biscuits. Tea and biscuits, and the guy just, bam!
Combusting.
Spontaneous combustion. So,
there's nothing left of your house except a little green gobula.
The little green. So... Yeah, the bunch of you that are too young to understand what that is, but whatever. I don't know what to tell you. I'm an old man and I laugh at my own stupid jokes. So either way, fire's a real thing, and it's a big deal when you can't do something about it.
Right.
It's something you need to be aware of. One of the things, so now fires, like I said, they could be man-made or natural disaster. There's some things we can do to prevent it. Now, one, you want to think about like dead trees and brush and crap around your house. You want to be aware of it. You hear these commercials with Smokey the Bear or something. I don't know. But like dead leaves up in the gutter or whatever. This is stuff. No, I don't expect you to be cleaning your gutters during the apocalypse. What I do expect is you kind of be on top of these things now, and clearing away, brush and crap away from your house. You also want to think about where your fuel stockpile is. Maybe you want it in those old school jerry cans that are metal and you can seal up. Maybe you want it in a shed out away from your house. Now, do you want it out away from your house where somebody can sneak in the night and steal it all? Well, these are the things you need to think about.
All right.
But you don't want to have your fuel stockpile right off your kitchen. I can tell you that. When you do have like fuel spills, you're filling the gas cans and stuff, you get a little sloppy stuff on the ground. You want to clean it up because that vapor can
Right. That vapor is flammable.
And these are things to think about. Plus, people probably out smoking cigars in the end of the world. I mean, I assume that's what I'm going to be doing.
Yeah.
So, I can't help but think, that's a possibility. So you want to be on top of spills. Spills you're going to clean up with like sawdust. You can use old newspaper, whatever. And then you probably want to take that sawdust, sweep it up, take it over to the fire, and get rid of it. But that's, that's what you want to know about, like, keeping the yard clear.
Right.
Did you have any?
Oily rags and that sort of stuff. Now, you want to just we'll start talking about some brush fire stuff?
Sure.
All right. So basic brush fire, I think guys out there in California understand how dangerous that can be, how quickly that can escalate. Some of the other areas where it's a little bit more damp, it's still a danger when it's when it's dry out. So if you have a brush fire in your backyard and it's coming towards your house, what are you going to do about it? First thing you want to do is take out the hot spots. Anything that's around the perimeter, you're going to want to get that taken care of first. Big logs, bushes, things that can emit sparks that can start a second fire.
Okay. So
you're going to take that stuff out. If the hot spot's in the middle of the fire and you can't get to it, then don't worry about it. Just move on. You want to start by building a fire line.
All right, now that's like digging a trench?
Yeah, digging a trench. You can dig it up.
Creating a water barrier if we have excess water.
Mm-hmm.
But not,
right.
And
if
the
you're digging
digging
a trench,
is a lot better if you don't have water you're going to need for the firefighting.
Right. Now, you can beat a fire down with a shovel.
Okay.
But you can also dig a trench along an area. Dig down so you're hitting dirt, not,
Yeah, we're not talking about deep. You don't need to dig a foot trench. You need to clear the crap off the top so it's not flammable.
And when you're digging the trench, keep in mind that stuff that you're digging out of there should go towards the fire, not away from it, because you don't want to dig up any sparks and, throw them in the part of the area you're trying to protect.
You might even send the kids out with some rakes, have them scraping away, anything. Move stuff away from what you want to keep.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you're going to want to start your fire line where the fire is advancing fastest. But, don't get up on the side of a hill, above the fire and end up getting your ass caught on fire. Always have an escape plan when you're dealing with a fire, I
like the escape plan.
All right. Now, once you get your fire beat down a bit,
all right,
you're going to have to keep an eye on it because, even a day or two later, that fire can start back up. I was watching a TV show. What is it called? Pioneer Quest. Have you seen that?
I haven't seen it.
It's on Hulu. You should check it out. It's two couples are staying out in, I think it's near Winnipeg up in Canada.
Yep.
And they're living basically with only Pioneer tools on a piece of land that, has never been worked on. And they're, basically 18th century equipment that they're dealing with.
Nice.
One of the things that happened, though, is they had a pig pen and they had a fire pit. And they had burned some material the day before and moved on to something else. And then they heard the pig squealing the next day and ran over there and realized that fire had started back up and caught the pig pen on fire and burned that pig so bad they had to, they had to put it down.
Bacon.
They ended up, I think, burying it because it was, it had a bunch of like babies or, it was pregnant, and I think it was just going to end up being a big burnt up
mess,
nasty butchering job that nobody wanted to deal with.
Yeah, I hear you. No, and that's it. And that's, guess what? Fire burns your resources. Mm-hmm. And this is something you need to be aware of. In the Navy, firefighting was a huge thing. Almost everybody was on the fire party kind of thing. I can't imagine you'll talk to a sailor who wasn't at some point involved with the fire party on the ship. And like Kevin's saying now, that one of the jobs in the fire party was the investigator. And the investigator was somebody who would take a staff and basically go back and poke and pull apart everything that burned, feeling around for the hot spots. Mm-hmm. Kind of, looking around in and then putting their hand close and checking it out and looking for anything that, mm-hmm. might flare up and be a problem later. So
that's right. Now, we should touch on real quick fire extinguishers.
I got it.
I think that's that's an important step one for your firefighting.
All right. If nothing else, I know there's a million things we tell you to spend your money on.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. There's so many areas to worry about, but at the very, very minimum, you're going to need a fire extinguisher in your kitchen.
Yep.
Or wherever, you're doing your cooking at.
And you can get a really cheap fire extinguisher that sprays water. That's not the one you want in your kitchen, though.
No. So there are 3 types. It's A, B, and C.
Right.
So A is for anything that leaves ash.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like your, paper and cardboard and whatever. Basically, that's your water fire extinguisher that Kevin's talking about. Now, B is for liquid fires. So that's like your grease fire. That's your, gasoline,
fuel that you didn't
spilt
clean
fuel
up.
You didn't clean, that kind of stuff. And then C is electrical fire.
Mm-hmm.
I guess they tell you to remember, like, C is for current and that kind of thing. Because you sprayed the water on the electrical fire, it's not going to end well. Now,
you can use a C fire extinguisher for any type of fire.
Well, yeah, they'll usually say A, B, C for when it's good for everything. Right. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, I'm with you. You're putting out paper with, with
now, those, of course, are a little bit more expensive, but, that's something you should invest in.
So, that for your kitchen. And those little ones, I mean, it's good enough for, your pot catches on fire or whatever. But I got to tell you, being able to react quickly is going to make a huge difference versus, I have to go get the hose and run around back in the house or whatever you're going to try and rig up. By then, it's already, engulfed your kitchen and the drapes are on fire and I don't know. It ends badly. So, like I said, you want to think about debris. You want to have tools to, to keep things away. So let's talk about some kinds of tools and things you'd want to do. So sand, dirt, great for putting out fire.
Right.
Fire blankets. Now, think military surplus, those wool blankets.
Yeah, those are good.
Those are great for putting out fires. Basically, if somebody catches on fire, all right, and you got those wool blankets, you can, smother them. But they make a point that, when your pant legs catch on fire or whatever, don't run over and throw the blanket around the guy because the flames end up rising up and you end up putting it all in their face. So you want the guy to, like, drop on the ground, like that whole stop, drop, and roll.
Right.
And then you're going to come and get on top of them with the blanket. So just kind of think about that before you act. I don't know, maybe that'll help somebody not get some face burns. That would be cool, right? Have them lay down.
Nobody wants to look at you after you have burnt up
burns
face.
Are just gross.
Yeah.
I mean, Freddy Krueger, come on. No. Nobody wants that. So, basically, another thing, you're going back in to fight a fire, you got something going on, you're going to want, like, wet towels. You would put, like, wet towels in, like, the door cracks and things like that, anywhere the smoke's going to come through. As far as you and protecting yourself, T-shirt, whatever, you want to make, like, a bandana. And they say you really want to breathe through your nose will actually protect you a lot more than straight into your throat breathing through your mouth.
Okay.
So you want to put a bandana over your face to, block out some of the smoke, but then try and breathe through the nose. They say a good trick to kind of do that is to, like, bite on the bandana. Like, put that in your mouth so that way it kind of forces you to breathe through your nose, and you don't have to think about it. Basically, firefighting attire. Wanted to talk about that.
All right.
The big thing is you don't want anything synthetic. It heats up and it ends up melting on you.
Right.
So you're looking for, like, leather boots are usually the way to go. Cotton T-shirts, denim jeans are fine, no problem. You really want to stick with, your cotton stuff or anything that, is a
leather.
natural
Yep.
leather material. You want to get...
Batman had that asbestos underwear that kept him safe.
Yeah, nice.
I mean, somehow that protected his entire body.
If you're wearing a rubber suit, that's going to end bad. But if you got the asbestos underneath,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
right.
yeah. See, I'm thinking. All right, you have another thing you're going to want, goggles.
Mm-hmm.
You want eye protection at a minimum, but goggles, if you have something that like actually encloses in around the sides, like your old, weed whacker goggles or whatever, that's going to keep the smoke out of your eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not going to help you be able to see maybe, but you're not going to be irritated and, aggravating your eyes. So that's a big thing. I got to say, radios are really useful when you're fighting fires if you can kind of do it. If you got somebody outside watching your back, I don't know if you guys have ever been in a fire, but it gets noisy. I don't even know that the radios would really be that effective just because I don't know that you'd hear it with all your gear and everything over it.
Right.
But at least being able to call out and check in or whatever is better than nothing. But don't be surprised if you're calling to your buddy in the fire and he doesn't hear you because it's a lot going on there. You also probably want flashlights. Being able to see, it's one more thing to cut through the smoke and kind of help out. So you want to think about that. Now, tools. Different things like, so let's say you're setting up a kind of off-grid fire party.
All right.
Right? Like, I don't mean we're going to have a party with fire. I mean, that sounds fun, and I might be interested. You might want to invite me over. But what I'm getting at is, so you and your neighbors, there's 4 houses or whatever, and you're like, hey, we got to have a backup plan for a little fire department, help each other out. I don't know if you've seen any of those old shows, Little House on the Prairie and different things. They've had fires, and everybody kind of comes together and helps out because guess what? It's you guys or, or that's it. So basically you're going to want to have rakes. Like I said, you're going to want to be able to get away debris and sort through stuff. You're going to want decent ladders that you have access to.
Right.
You were talking about you always need an exit plan. And if you're going up on your roof or whatever to, spray and fight fires and do whatever, having a ladder on the opposite side of the fire. So, you come up on the far side of the house away from the fire.
Right.
Then you go towards it. You have that ladder behind you, so you always have an escape route. That's something you're going to want to think about. Shovels, chainsaws. When you were talking about like the kind of forest fire coming in fast, being able to cut down trees and move debris out of the way quickly, it's going to be a huge asset. You're going to want hose, which are great for, digging those trenches we were talking about, making your fire line. Axes to be able to get through the house kind of thing. Sprinklers. Now, sprinklers are kind of a cool thing, and I've heard about people setting up like braces on the roof of their house. Now, again, is this something I'd do if I lived in the city? No, I don't even really care. I'm like, you know what? The fire department's going to handle it. I'm not worried about it. But when that house is my shelter and my means of survival and all my stockpiles and survival gear is inside, it's kind of important I protect it. And setting up like braces for sprinklers so that you can kind of load them up on the roof. Maybe you leave them there permanent year round. I don't know. Still would, if that's the case, it's got to be something you're checking on every 6 months. And
and you're going to have a water supply to feed it by gravity,
That's a given. So, well, gravity, or if you think, oh, well, I got a generator and I'm going to be able to keep that well going, cool. And we're going to talk about pumps in a minute. But, yeah, so the sprinklers, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, now the sprinklers you can get that, just automatically run when they reach a certain temperature, right? So
they do have that.
So, I mean, that's not something you have to turn on. It's something that would just be there ready to go if you had a water supply.
And, I mean, honestly, how hard would it be to, say, put some brackets and run a hose right up alongside of your chimney and then kind of run it straight along the peak of your roof there, roof line, and set a sprinkler every 10 feet? I mean, I don't think it'd be that hard where, I know at my house, we do a lot of gardening and stuff like that. So my hose nozzle has like a 4-way spreader, that kind of thing. And if you left one just connected to there that you could just turn on, and that's got the roof handled.
Right.
You know, that's something right there. I had mentioned in a previous episode about one of the guys left his yard sprinklers on when the forest fires came in California, and it ended up saving his house because just keeping things wet. Because things don't naturally catch on fire. They do when they're really dry.
Right.
And if you can do, you know, that little bit to keep things from being so combustible. Because an ash flying through the air and landing in your, you know, damp yard isn't going to do anything.
Right.
Whereas an ash, you know, where it's just dry leaves just ready to go.
Brown grass and...
That's a completely different story. I mean, I actually will burn, you know, debris, and I'm pretty paranoid. I usually only burn like paper products and that kind of stuff if it's either just rained like within an hour or it's raining at the moment. You know, there are days that I'm home and I'm like, oh, I got some cardboard I want to get rid of. Cool, it's raining. Let me go out and just take care of it.
Right.
I do that because, you know what? I don't have to think twice. You know, I know we're good. It's not going to, that ash isn't going to fly away and whatever. But when it hasn't rained in 10 days, it makes a big difference. And they say, like, if you're burning in your fire pit, you should clear, you know, like 10 yards of dry debris.
Right.
I'm not saying dirt for 10 yards. I'm just saying big combustible stuff, you know.
Yeah, I usually keep a couple of 5-gallon buckets next to my fire pit, you know, especially during the summer.
Yeah, I mean, my fire pit's probably 20 feet from a hose, so I'm not as worried. But, like, I'll watch the ashes. I used to be really paranoid. You know, I'd make a fire, and you see the ashes go up, and you see them glowing for 10, 15, 20 feet up in the air, and I'll run over and kind of catch it with my hand. And they're usually not hot, not anything. You're pretty good after like 20 feet. You know, you don't really need to worry about it. But again, the right conditions, you know, when things are dry or the wind hits it just right, and things can end badly, you know, and they get out of hand quick and it gets scary. So another thing I wanted to talk to you about. So you kind of, you know, I was getting on this off-grid fire department kind of thing, fire party, you know, having something with your neighbors. So it wouldn't hurt to put together like a fire truck.
Right. An old beater.
Now, yeah, I'm talking about an old pickup. You get them for $500, whatever. Doesn't need to pass inspection. Just need to be able to move it around the yard. And maybe it's a fire wagon that you tow with your tractor. Maybe you tow it with your pickup. You know, whatever. But if you can get a big water tank on there, that'd be pretty cool. If you had a pond or a water feature in your property, that'd be pretty cool. If you have a kid's swimming pool, if you went and got one of those $199 Walmart swimming pools and set it up and left it full of water, how much more of an asset would that be for you, you know, in an off-grid kind of situation like that, to have that water feature if you didn't have the pond, if you didn't have, you know, a well that you could control. These things,
just a heads up, that $199 Walmart pool,
yes,
not designed for sex.
No?
It's a little bit embarrassing when you realize you're laying out in the lawn all wet with no clothes on. Just a heads up.
Were there high-pitched screams or squeals? No?
It just it happens catastrophically and fast. You know?
Yeah.
1 second, you know, I'm doing my thing. The next second, I'm just laying out in the wet lawn. So
It could be awkward.
yeah.
So, all right, something to think about there. So they sell these things called water totes. Now, they're basically big plastic containers. I see them, they'll sell them where it comes like on a pallet with a metal cage around it to keep it from bulging out and whatever. And they hold about, you know, they vary, 250, 275 gallons, even 300, somewhere in that neighborhood. And they're actually, some are stackable. And you can tie them together, you know, they'll feed one into the other, things like that. But so with stuff like that, one, it's great for your potable water storage. but it can also be great if you can get it up somewhere kind of high. And this is what I would throw on my wagon or my, whatever, the back of my pickup truck that I have set up for my fire vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you get this up in a high enough place, you can have it gravity feed down. You're not really running an awesome fire hose off gravity and whatever, but it's better than nothing. Now, there are pumps. You can buy an electric pump that'll, like a 7 horsepower pump that will move something basically like 150 gallons a minute, like $200. Now, all the things, like maybe you don't buy that extra AR-15 and you spend $800.
You're being crazy
on fire parties.
You're being crazy now.
Because I got to tell you, if you can throw a hose in the water, and in your pond, in your swimming pool, in your Walmart swimming pool, whatever it is, and you throw this pump, and you buy a nozzle, and you buy a second hose to be Fireman Joe. The only thing to think about is when you buy that 300-gallon water container, remember back in your head I said you can pump 150 gallons a minute. So think of how much water we're talking about here. So now, again, you can limit and use your fire hose, but don't think you're going to be like the fire engine unless you got a big pond.
Right, unless you got something to feed it.
Unless you're ready to really put that pond, to work. So that's something to think about there. No, I actually looked online for like home firefighting systems. And it was funny because all the things I was looking at were between $2,500 and like $3,500.
Right.
And it would be a cart with a pump and like a coiled up hose and a nozzle and a hose to throw in the water. And it was like $3,700. And I'm like, but I don't get it. So I started looking at the specs, and it was a 7 horsepower pump. And I go on Amazon, and I can buy that pump for $199. And the hoses are about $30. And the nozzle's about $30. And I think you could put together your whole system for at most $400.
Versus
$400 a side of your water totes.
Right.
And those I've seen used. I've seen them at Craigslist. I see people giving them away for free.
Right.
Especially if you don't care about potable water kind of thing.
And those plastic drums, those 55-gallon drums.
55-gallon drum does not cost.
You can find them pretty quick.
Yeah. And you could put a couple of those in series. You do want to put a cap on them, which they do come with usually. You want to secure the cap because otherwise they become kind of mosquito breeding grounds, that kind of stuff. But yeah, I mean, especially if you're not worried about potable water, you can get those tanks no problem. And if you work out your own little firefighting system with the pump, the hoses, I mean, I've never heard another prepper show or anybody talking about, firefighting. And I was like, that really sounds pretty important to me.
Right.
It's kind of a big deal. So once I got thinking about this, I was like, this really seems like something I need to work into my preps. Now, there's one more thing that we never mentioned way back. And again, I've never thought about this. How cool would you be if you put 4 or 5 smoke alarms in your Faraday cage?
There you go.
They take up almost no space. And because, we talked about what does a garbage can cost? And you can go back and research, or I think we even have a video on our YouTube channel on how to put together a Faraday cage.
We do.
For about $30, you can store all the radios, everything you want if you buy a full-size garbage can, and throw some smoke alarms in there with it. Have some extra batteries, and I assume you can get rechargeable 9-volt. But maybe you can find smoke alarms that work off AA's or something like that, or AAA's. I don't know. Maybe they're all just freaking 9-volt. I don't know. But you know what? Guess what? What does this smoke alarm battery lasts a year? So buy a package of 10 freaking 9-volt batteries.
Yeah,
and
you're
say,
good.
These are for my smoke alarms.
Yeah.
And you're good. But you know, how cool are you when smoke alarm goes off and you don't all burn to death? Or you don't wake up after your babies are already trapped and dead?
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's not something you want to live with, because you're like, oh, well, $20, that sounds like a big deal. I don't want to spend it. And, you know, so smoke alarms in the Faraday cage. And I think that's me. I don't think I've ever heard a prepper ever mention
putting the smoke alarm in the Faraday cage.
In the Faraday cage. I'll take credit. You can thank me on that one. But that's pretty much what I got. I mean, I'm sure you can go online and find a bunch of neat ideas on how to fight fires with, but those are the basic tools I would look for. I would do a little research. I mean, I know we were kind of trained as firefighters in the military. When you're spraying the hose, you want to shoot at the base of the fire, you know, right where the flame's coming from. You want to spread it. One of the secrets they always taught us was, you get the newbies fighting the fires. They always are like, oh shit, I'm burning up. The heat's so bad. So they'll spray their boots and their legs a little bit. And then what they don't realize is, if you're that hot that it's coming through your clothes, all that turns to steam and it burns the shit out of you. So that's a little secret of the pros right there. You don't want to do that. And as we mentioned, having, you know, the rubber soles and all that stuff, you know, you hope for the best, you know, synthetic materials are going to do you in. So I don't know. That's what I got on firefighting.
Okay. That sounds pretty good. Now,
we've seen a couple things that have preppers on edge in this last couple weeks.
Yeah, a couple of things going on.
All right. So, I guess NASA was worried about some solar flares and solar storms.
Looks like we survived that.
We survived it. All right.
So think we're good on that.
Through, but you know.
Also, exciting news from the super volcano out in Yellowstone.
How'd that work out?
Rumbling.
It's still rumbling.
Yep.
All right.
Still happening. So, I mean, if you're concerned, if you live in North America, best bet to survive that.
Shovel
to survive
off
it
your
well.
roof?
No, I would go immediately to Yellowstone and hope that you're at ground zero when it happens. Otherwise, you're just going to have a miserable couple of years while you starve to death.
Years? All right. Or I think that my Patriot Supply has the 1 month of food for $99.
Ooh, good time to get on that.
However, I think that deal expires on the day we release this episode.
All right.
So
never mind that.
I hope you're a newbie. You know, you're one of these gung-ho, or as my wife says, gung-ho is the correct pronunciation.
Yeah, it is the correct pronunciation.
We won't get in there. But you might want to check into that long-term food storage. It is hard to grow when the ground is covered with acidic ash, and the sun is blocked out. So, you know, whatever.
If you are looking, though, for a new bug-out location in Canada, I see there's one for sale. Big news. This is a bug-out cottage. This is Muskoka, which is outside of Ontario. 5 bedrooms, a loft, 2 kitchens, 2 bathrooms, private beach, and comes with a 30-day zombie-free warranty.
I like it.
So, you know, after the 30 days, you're on your own with the zombies, but it is on its own personal island, so...
I do like it.
So you're right. So if you're looking for a bug-out location, you're in Ontario, maybe check that one out.
All right. You can email Kevin at preppingbadass@gmail.com if you need more details on that.
Let me know.
And Kevin would be happy to explain what happens when the zombies get you and you want to cash in on that warranty.
And you have that warranty. Yeah, what happens then?
So,
Blue's Clues.
Oh, tell me about Blue.
Do you remember the Nickelodeon show Blue's Clues with the kids? Yep, and the little dog.
And I think there's a dog Magenta.
There is, yes.
All right.
And my kid was always into that one. They're revamping it, starting it up again. The 2 front runners for the host is Steve, the original guy. The second to original guy. I think the original guy was was a pillhead. Something happened there.
That happens.
Number 2 on the list, though, John Cena.
Sure.
So, I'm rooting for John Cena.
Are you?
But Steve did challenge John Cena to a wrestling match to see who would actually be the host.
Well,
now, that I can't see that working out well for Steve.
Wrestling
unless the loser.
Though, so maybe John Cena.
Maybe he's going to throw it. Maybe the loser gets it. I don't know how this is going to work out for Steve, but so there's that. Keep that in mind, and we'll keep our eyes on that.
All right.
Also, it seems like Russia is just poisoning everybody now.
Yeah, that's some kind of act of war, isn't that?
Yeah, I mean, I think poisoning citizens of another country with weapons of mass destruction, I think that's...
They frown on that?
That's right up there on that list. You know?
All right. So
chemical warfare is not really...
And they're like, 21 people, they were just injured. Mm-hmm. Now, what does injured mean when it's VX nerve gas?
Yeah, I don't think that's something that you want to be injured by. It's not something like, you just need to, put on this oxygen mask, you'll be all right.
Walk it off.
No, that's permanent. That shit is permanent damage.
They were like, you'll never have a job again. Mm-hmm. You'll pretty much die a slow
You're going to sit on a couch for the rest of your life watching Comedy Central and having a hard time not twitching.
Sounds like, the not twitching part.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you had me a little bit. I was like, wait, maybe, being prepper, we watch Doomsday Preppers.
Right.
Till the end. But I guess after you're poisoned with nerve gas, you're kind of like, I kind of missed the boat on the prepping thing. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
you move on. You may as well just watch Comedy Central.
Yeah.
A little death clock or whatever.
Whatever you're into.
All right. Now, it also appears that the Middle East are running ads in the paper saying that, if we could all get together, which is kind of ironic because they can't get together. But if we could all get together and gang up on Israel, there's a lot more of us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the prospect of World War III is not exciting to me.
No.
But, I mean, if everybody invades Israel, I think the United States is in on that, and then Russia comes in on that. Syria is involved, and
Iran,
Saudi Arabia, England. I think there's a whole mess there. So
and what's weird is, I haven't really seen anything. I knew, the Middle East would be pissed, but they're making the argument, it's because America, recognized Jerusalem. Mm-hmm. And they make it like that's a big deal. But I kind of feel like if you're so mad at somebody that you're like, you know what, I want to hijack planes and fly it into the World Trade Towers. Mm-hmm. I feel like, how could you be like, but now I'm really pissed.
We've been trying to kill everybody in your country for 30 years, but now we really want to do it.
Now you've done it. Uh-huh. I just feel like that's something's just off there.
Yeah.
How are you?
I mean, it's all right. I think Chuck and I both have fatwas on us at this point, but what are you going to do?
Well, whatever. I'm sure they even download an episode. They got to listen first is the problem.
Well, don't we have somebody that keeps downloading in Saudi Arabia?
I think we do.
I think they're Sunnis, though.
Sunnis.
I don't know about Iran, though. Those are the guys I worry about.
Well, what I would say is they need to set up a good fire party.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, so there's that. What else? So, Russia. Now, how is this escalating? So, Russia ended up with their nerve agents, which they deny, and they're like, "You need to send us a sample." But they're the only people
that make this nerve agent,
right? But they're like, if you send us a sample, we could maybe verify if it's ours. I mean, we're not going to show you ours, but we could compare.
Even though they don't have any, they destroyed all theirs.
They don't have
5 years ago. Yeah.
So England's like, we're thinking your ambassadors, we're going to kick them the hell out of our country. Mm-hmm. And Russia's like, if you do that, then we might have to have a little cyber warfare going on. Mm-hmm. And I just wonder if these things escalate a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know. It sounds like a slippery slope, if you will.
Yeah, and Russia, it seems like, has a little bit of experience with the cyber warfare, along with poisoning people with strangely specific toxic poison chemicals.
Or they could just...
Poison, toxic, that's the same thing.
Sounds bad either way. Well, it sounds like Russia might be able to just get them with Facebook ads.
Right. Bombard them.
Bombard them.
Get rid of this bitch May.
That.
Yep.
See?
Facebook it. Like it. Share it.
So with that, I think that's what we got for today. Stay safe. You have any good ideas? Do you want to shoot us an email? Again, Kevin or just preppingbadass@gmail.com.
Right. And Kevin, I will take care of it.
Kevin will take care of it. Also, you might want to head over to Patreon. Show us a little love. You might want to sponsor the show a little bit and ensure that we're able to keep the lights on and keep these great episodes coming.
Mm-hmm.
Our vast knowledge and research, it knows no bounds.
That's right.
So you also may want to head over to iTunes or wherever you're downloading this podcast and leave a review and say, hey, those guys are pretty swell.
Mm-hmm.
You might want to write those exact words.
We could use some new reviews. We haven't had any lately.
All right. And, whatever. Maybe you want to talk about how awesome we are. I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm.
So
maybe you want to send us an email and tell us how awesome we're not. That's also all right.
People do that.
Mm-hmm.
Or actually, my experience has been you like to go on Facebook and tell us how awesome we're not. But with that, stay safe, and we will talk to you guys next week.
Planning a fishing trip shouldn't feel like a full-time job. With fishingbooker.com, you can find and book the perfect fishing trip within minutes. Fishingbooker.com connects you with trusted fishing captains around the world. Booking is fast, easy, and secure, with access to verified customer reviews, loyalty rewards, and around-the-clock customer support. Everything you need to book with confidence is in one place. So head to fishingbooker.com and start planning your next fishing adventure today.